Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 4 of Hardwood Hooligans. I'm your host, Joe. Tim, my boy, in the Mitchell & Ness swag-ass hat is my co-host.
Swaggy.
What's up, buddy?
What's up,
Swaggy.
man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. It was a crazy fucking game.
Yeah, intense for sure. Yeah, especially when you have money on the line, you know.
So we're bringing on Troy Marinkovic. I got that right?
Yeah.
I practiced that 5 times before the show.
5 whole times. Not bad.
Not 5 times, but I thought I was gonna mess it up. Hey, my last name's today, and nobody can pronounce it, so it's all good. So we've got Troy on the show. So Troy, the joke between us, me and Tim, is that whenever he bets, I am mush from a Bronx Tale. So you take the opposite of whatever I tell you. So if you ever want to lay money on the line, just ask me, and I'll tell you what I think. You take the opposite, and normally you win money. So I took Toronto tonight. He took the Warriors. He won. What'd you win tonight, then?
You know what? I only won $40, but I put 50 down. I put 50 down to win 40. I took Golden State on the money line tonight.
That's why I don't bet, dude. I was sweating that shit enough. Man, I can't fucking bet. But we're going to get into some NBA Finals talk. That's going to dominate our conversation. And then at the end, if we have time, I really, really want to discuss that Kyle Lowry, is he a Hall of Famer tweet from CJ McCollum, because I think all three of us are in agreement that he is not. Yeah. I thought he was kidding. I honestly did. So we'll bring that up at the end and maybe get into some more stuff. But instant reacts after Game 5, I think, is where we're going to go. Troy, I'm going to kick it to you, man. What did overall thoughts, instant reacts, feelings go?
Well, it was a roller coaster, first of all. Like, just going into the game, you got the storylines with KD coming back, right? You've got that you're contending with, and then as soon as he comes in, next thing you know, he's out, and Warriors are up the whole time, and then a blink of eye, you got the Raptors up, and then Warriors sealed the thing at the end. It's just a roller coaster of a game, and I think it just really shows you how quick things change in the NBA these days. That, like, you got a 15-point lead, it's not safe. You got a 6-point lead with 2 minutes left, that's not safe. You think you got your star player back for the rest of the finals, he's gone, probably Achilles tear. It just shows you how quick things change. I think Golden State, even after KD left, showed a lot of heart, and I think that obviously they've got that championship medal to them. And Toronto, I think, also played pretty well for stretches in the third quarter there and the fourth quarter there, but it's sometimes with them, it's like if they can't get the 3 ball to go down, they're not good enough at attacking the rim to offset that. So that's something for them. Look, going forward, I think if their shot falls, I'll pick them every day of the week, but if it's not, it gets ugly sometimes.
Yeah, they shot 8 of 32 tonight from 3, man. Golden State shot 20 of 42.
Yeah, man, it's a make or miss league, and you know, if you're gonna get into a shooting contest, Golden State's gonna win every single time, especially if they have Klay or you know, Steph on the court. It's just heartbreaking to see Durant go down, man. He came back and it looked like he didn't even miss a beat. You know, like he was hitting pull up threes. You know, he had a block on somebody, you know, just like one of those epic, you know, those swipe in blocks at the rim. And to be honest, what helped Golden State the most, he just opened up, you know, the lanes, and there was even doubles coming and things were just opening up. You know, they were just, Steph was getting a lot more room to shoot. And unfortunately, he's gone for the rest of the series. Who knows how long he's going to be out? You know, it didn't look like a normal calf strain. You know, it looked more serious. He had to get helped off the court. I just hope, you know, I just pray that it's not an Achilles tear. That would be awful.
Yeah. From what I saw, at least during the game on Twitter, Dr. Chow or whatever, the pro football doctor guy, he said that he's thinking it's partial tear, because when you look at the replay, you can see actually it's really nice because he's got the Nike Elites on, so you can see the line on his calf.
Yeah,
actually.
I got you right here.
Oh, yeah. So you can actually see the line on his calf just kind of rock back and forth. But they're thinking it's partial.
Yeah, there might be actually a better view of it. I know there was one from the backside that, showed it a little bit better. Let me see if I can pop that up here. Let me go back to you guys on cam. Give me a sec.
Sure.
Yeah, but definitely not good. I mean, when it rolled up, like Ross, who we had on our second episode of the show, he's a personal trainer and like he knows a lot about the human body. And we were asking him about his calf and everything else, and his reaction in our Bulls chat was like he at least thinks it's a partial tear. Like maybe not a full, but a partial. And then you had that video of KD walking off to go to the hospital with like Bob Myers and his agent and everything. So he's done for the series. It's just how bad. Yeah. Like if it's a partial tear, Ross was saying that maybe a couple months. If it's a full tear, I don't know like what recovery time is on that, but it's not good at all.
And you got to wonder if that affects his free agency, too, because if he's getting rushed back with a calf strain and they tell him that there's nothing worse that can happen to it than to re-aggravate a calf strain, and all of a sudden the dude's got a full tear of his Achilles, like you got to wonder if that has some effect in free agency. I mean, I don't know how KD is, but like it's happening now, where you got guys who get misdiagnosed or they say they're good to go and then they come back and they get something more serious. Like Kawhi is the perfect example of that, where he gets a second opinion and he's shut down for a whole season.
Here's that roll up you're talking about. That kind of happened with his calf.
Right. But you can see that it doesn't like completely roll up where you get that rubber band thing where it shoots up into his calf, but you could definitely see that the Achilles is not in good shape.
No. Boy, that's crazy.
Yeah, right?
I hadn't seen that. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, so that's the view I was trying to find. Like, I don't think Chow got that view, but I saw that on Twitter, and I was like, Jesus, man, it does not look good. And we were talking at half, like in our little chat about, like, hey, what are our overall thoughts and everything else? And, man, like, Toronto went on that little mini run to end the first half, and they had the energy and everything else. And it was like, okay. And then Mark Jackson, of course, comes out and says, well, if, it's make or break time for the Warriors, their season's on the line. Oh, no shit, dude. Like, you don't think they can know that? And at once, my overall thoughts on the game, when I was waiting for Kawhi to wake up, I thought he kind of played like ass the first three quarters to his standards. Like, all right, to his standards, I think he played pretty bad. He was 4-15. And then he reeled off, I think he went on a 10-point run, right?
Yep. 10 straight, 2 threes and 2 mid-range.
Yeah.
And that's all you can ask for a superstar, how they perform in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, he closed them, dude. He did, for sure. And then Nick Nurse called that timeout. And I don't know why he did that. I'm not sure how much that broke their momentum, but they were rolling, and then they couldn't get it back. Did they? I think that, they scored. Lowry had that goaltend on Cousins. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, it kind of allowed maybe Golden State to regroup a little bit.
Yeah.
And
100%.
we were talking before the game. The last thing you want to do with a team like Golden State who's been there and done it, or the last thing you want to do with like LeBron or any of the greats, is give them an opening. Like, you had a chance to close this shit out.
Yeah, don't let them hang around.
For real.
And they're going back to Golden State. Like, I think this goes 7. I'm going to take the Warriors in 7. Fuck it. I'm just going to call it. I might be wrong. But, like, you had to close them out. You had it. You had it. And Lowry missed the freaking backboard. Or he actually hit the backboard. He actually hit the backboard. I give him credit. He missed a rim on the last shot. But
to be honest, that's the last person you want the last shot to go to.
Yeah, you almost try to have Siakam take that shot, right?
The cojones factor is like negative.
Yeah, right.
Like my just reacts was I in our Bulls chat, I was like, Steph, you got to step up right now. And he hit a 3. And then I think they got a steal or something, transition, and then Klay pumped it and hit that 3. And I was like, holy shit. Like, just that quick, man. Like, you'd think they're down. It was just like this against OKC. Like, they were getting outplayed the entire series, and somehow they find a way. I don't know how.
And they almost blew it, too. I mean, they had a silly backcourt violation.
Yeah.
Like, he got nudged a teeny bit and stepped on the line. And then, that DeMarcus Cousins basket interference call, too. Just like, they almost pissed it away as well. So the Raptors had plenty of chances to come back there.
Yep. And I'm I was interested. I can't talk. I was interested to see what Toronto was going to run for that last play, and they were going Kawhi, and then Golden State doubled him and took the ball immediately out of his hands, and they kicked it.
And I was totally surprised that they just went straight ISO on it, like just out of the flow of transition, they just went straight ISO off the inbounds or whatever. I was surprised that they did that because they've been doubling him all series. If he takes more than one step, he catches the ball, holds it. They're bringing a double every time. So I was kind of surprised that they just went to straight ISO if the idea was to get Kawhi a shot.
I mean, Siakam's shot 6 of 15. Kawhi finished 9 of 24. Hey, fuck it, I'm just gonna pop up the stats. It's a little easier for everybody to visualize, right? So you guys can see what I'm talking about here. So here's stat box. Yeah, I mean, Lowry was 8 of 16. He hit some big shots, but then he kind of choked it at the end. He had that really bad turnover where he dove in, he drove to the lane, he kicked it out to nobody. That's the thing about Lowry too is, Troy, you and I talk a lot about this off air or offline. Like when he has switches, he doesn't attack it right away. It's like, what? And then he did it. Then he did it a couple times on Boogie. It's like, where is it? Like, why the variance and how he attacks? It's like he doesn't have a plan. He's got to be really decisive when he hits the switch. And he hasn't been doing that. It's like he holds the ball for 5 seconds. It's like, what are you doing? You've got to know. Like, Tim and I both are big D Rose fans. When D Rose has a switch, he goes. Like an attacking downhill guard, which Lowry kind of still can be, get downhill on this guy. He cannot stay in front of you at all. And it's like he just doesn't know. But then there are other times with that he drove, it was in the third quarter, he found Ibaka on a cut. Like Bell lost his guy backside and Ibaka cut. So he has those moments. But then there's the variance on the other side. It's like, what the hell? It's like, I just, for a guy who's been in the league, how many years has Lowry been in the league? Like 13?
A lot longer than you think. A lot longer than you think because he was irrelevant for so long,
Yep.
And guys, just to confirm, I just got a notification. KD was diagnosed with an Achilles injury. So just to confirm.
That's all we know, though? We don't know partial or full?
No, it's just diagnosed with an Achilles injury. So it's not the calf,
That's what sucks, though, man, is like he was a big question mark, right, before the game. We were chatting before the game, like, who's the bigger wild card, Lowry or KD? And I think actually all of us said Lowry.
Yeah.
KD was smoking, man, on both ends. He looked legit. This game might have been dude, if KD can play the entire game, I don't know if Toronto sniffs it, to be honest with you. That's how much it changed.
When he went out, were they up like 12 points or something like that?
Yeah, I think they were up like 12, and then I think Toronto cut it to like 10 or 9, and the Warriors opened it back up to like 15. But after that, it was all Raptors.
Yeah. I think it would have been a blowout, honestly. That's where it was heading.
I was focused mainly on him to start the game. I was just watching how he was moving and everything else. He looked good.
Yeah.
Like he had a weak side block. Like then Ibaka dove into his legs and I was like, oh shit. Like, oh. And then he got up. I was like, okay. And he looked smooth. He looked like he didn't miss a beat. And I was like, all right, well, if this is KD and he's good, I'm taking Warriors maybe, it's 6. And then that kind of sucked too with Toronto and their fans, cheering when he got hurt. That pissed me off.
That was not classy at all.
No, that was some Philly bullshit.
It was.
To be honest, like I didn't expect him to play that well right off the bat. I thought it might have taken him a little bit to get going, but he looked legit. And then to see him go out like that and like the look on his face, like any doubts about them holding him out for whatever reason that, he was good to go. Nah. I think he played as soon as he possibly could play. And that just sucks, man.
And I'm just going to eat my words too. Like I haven't said anything publicly, but Joe and I were talking the other day and I was just like Klay is, he's literally playing on a severely sprained hamstring. Kevon Looney's playing with a broken collarbone. Like KD owed it, to play. And I wasn't gonna call him soft or anything like that because you never know what pain someone's going through. But I kind of questioned his toughness and him coming back and injuring it is just like, Yeah, man. Sometimes you just don't know what people are going through and how serious it is. So, yeah, it made me eat my words for sure.
Yeah, I think I did too. I thought maybe like why aren't you playing, man? If you like I said, Looney and Clay are banged up, Boogie can barely freaking move, and if you're good, if you're 70 or 80%, but he did play, and he got hurt. He got hurt in the first quarter or second quarter. Was it? Do you remember? I can't remember.
Second, I think.
Second quarter.
Because
So
they pulled him in the first quarter with like 4 minutes to go.
Yep.
okay,
Yep.
so
Because he sat
quarter.
at the end of the first.
Gotcha. Yeah. It's to see him go out that quick after he was playing so well, and it sucks, man. Like you want to see two teams at their best, and Looney getting hurt sucked too. Like that dude was playing through pain. Like he was grimacing. You could see him on the free throw line. Like that team is like bandaged up. Like
yeah, 100%.
Clay, and they're still found we. It's interesting when you like evaluate prospects, right? And talent and all that stuff, and their length and height. There's still a will to win. There's still the ability to rise and get hit in the fucking mouth and get your ass back up and fight back. Steph and Klay continuously find ways to, after they just get knocked out and look like they're on the freaking mat. I think all of us called game when Kawhi hit that transition to 3 to put him up. I was like, I don't know if Warriors are getting that lead back. And then went on that 10-0 run. I was like, Jesus. I was like, this might be it, man. I was like, fuck, we got to deal with Drake now and all that shit.
Man, I have a love-hate relationship with Drake. I love his music, but he's so damn annoying on the sidelines, It's just like, calm down.
I gotta find this. There's a shot of Nick Nurse like giving him the side eye. Let me see if I can find it. Like,
that's epic. That's epic.
That's really funny.
Like, bro, what are you like? What are you doing? He's fun though. He's entertainment, right? And that's what kind of the NBA is now. So Kawhi is like a robot, right? There's a joke out there that like you don't coach him, you upload code to him.
Yep.
Like whatever you want him to do, you write it in like HTML. Like smile, like, and you put the 2 arrows around it, right? I think having him in the locker room helps a lot because he has that pedigree. He was around Duncan and Manu and Tony Parker and was groomed by Greg Popovich. So I don't think he'll let his team get rattled, or he won't get rattled. But guys like Lowry, like Green will be okay, I think. But guys like Lowry, guys who haven't been there before, like how do they respond? We've seen the Warriors time and time again. They get knocked out, man. Just like they get absolutely pummeled, and then they get back up off the mat. They've got that will and that drive and that pedigree. Does Toronto have that? Does doubt start to creep into the locker room that, oh crap, is this that like that LeBron being down 3-1 series and then he brings it on back? And Golden State having been through that and knowing what it's like to be on the opposite side of that. I'm just wondering. Kawhi will be okay. I'm wondering about the rest of the team. And
that's a fair assessment. They only have 2 guys that have played in the finals before. I think Danny Green and Kawhi, right? Those are the only 2.
Yep.
Nick Nurse made a huge blunder in this game, by calling that timeout when they were on a 10-0 run. Like those type of things can happen. I'm not worried about Kawhi. I think he's going to be just fine because he is a robot. He doesn't even have ice water in his veins. He just needs some WD-40 on his.
Yeah, right.
I think Danny Green will have a good game 6. I think if you're counting on 2 guys to bring it, I think it's going to be Green and I think it's going to be Kawhi. I would also probably bet on Ibaka. I mean, maybe Gasol. I have no idea about Kyle Lowry. He plays better on the road. He says he does. We'll see. I thought he kind of overcame that hump tonight a little bit. He
played well tonight. He played well.
He played all right.
Then he had those 2. Again, it's how you close too. It's those final 2 minutes, man. What happens? You know,
that last shot, man. Just get it on the rim. You know,
did Draymond get a piece?
We've seen how generous the rim is in Toronto. You know, bounce 4 or 5 times and it might go in.
Did Draymond get a piece of that, or he just missed? He just missed, right?
I don't know, man.
I think he just rushed it.
Yeah, because you saw Draymond coming to close on him.
Yeah,
terrible.
I think he rushed it.
And the old poop the pants Lowry came back. You know, Hall of Famer according to CJ McCollum. Lowry came back, but if the Raptors win the championship, is Kyle Lowry a Hall of Famer? Was asked by CJ McCollum, and then CJ followed up that this is a valid question. All depends on what people value. If it's about winning, Iggy and Kyle under consideration with the chip. Can't question championships. Doesn't mean he gets in, but is worthy of a valid discussion. Although Iguodala has advantage with chips. And okay, so I don't want to really get into Iggy. I want to keep this more on Kyle Lowry. Troy, I'll kick it to you, man. Like, thoughts?
Like I've said it before, I kind of think of Kyle Lowry as like Rip Hamilton on the Pistons. Like he was the second best player on just a team that was really deep. They didn't have a whole lot of star power. Like he was second fiddle to DeMar DeRozan. And are we going to talk about DeMar DeRozan being in the Hall of Fame? Like, no, not a chance in hell. That's my opinion on it, at least.
Tim, what you got?
Yeah, no. Hell no.
Go in, dude. Go in.
He should definitely not be a Hall of Famer. You know, like pull up his career stats.
I got him. He's averaging. Bro, go on cam. I'll pull up the stats, but I want you to go in real quick.
He's averaging probably 14 points for his career, shooting 41% from the field. He's an above average defender, but like Troy alluded to, I mean he's never been the best player on a team of his. You know, it's crazy for me to even think that he would be a Hall of Famer. I don't even think Iggy's a Hall of Famer. You know, he's okay. I think he got voted in 5 times as an All-Star, right, or something like that.
Right.
But that doesn't mean anything.
This year, he got voted in this year. He was averaging 14 points a game and 41%. Derrick Rose should have been an All-Star in the East then. Like, seriously, honestly. Definitely. He had better numbers. That's a joke. To put that argument out there sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Just on this part.
I think Derrick was averaging around 19 points a game, 5 assists, and shooting like 45% from 3 at the mid mark.
Yeah,
so Kyle Lowry shouldn't have been an All-Star. He shouldn't be a Hall of Famer. The only way he should be a Hall of Famer is like if there's nobody available in the class. Like, if it's a year where, like, nobody's freaking eligible. I don't know if freaking Ricky Rubio is up for a conversation to get in the Hall of Fame. And, you kind of know what I'm getting at. Like, there's no reason he should get in unless it's such a weak class that he has to go in. Like, all right, let's pull him up. Because, Tim, I wanted to let you go, though, before I did that. Kyle Lowry stats. Tim's right, 14 points a game. Shooting 42% for his career.
Oof.
You're a percent off, dude. Come on, man. No, six assists per game. All right.
So average.
People will argue. All right. People will argue this here. People will argue his first 5 years in the league. Right.
That's some like Jamal Tinsley type of numbers.
Right, but people will say his first 5 years he didn't get a fair shot. He was a late bloomer. Okay, well let's do this then. This is what's cool about this website. Let's pull his numbers when he started to pick up pace, besides this one. Boom. Hold on. So this is kind of when he started to go. So let's do this. 16 points a game on 42% shooting from the floor, 7 assists per game. So even in his prime, that's prime Kyle Lowry in Houston and Toronto. No. All right, if he's in, then this guy is in my opinion.
Oh, for sure.
No, you got a better case for D. Will than you do for Kyle Lowry.
I mean, shit. Oh, let's go peek D. Will here. Oh, shit, that didn't work. we trying out new stuff on this show. Let's try this. Boom. To like, when did he drop off? Would you say like to his Brooklyn days?
Yeah.
17 points a game, 45%, 9 assists.
And then I still think you have 1 or 2 seasons where he wasn't really bringing it either.
No, he took him a year to get going. And
no, I'm talking about like 2014, 15, and 2013, 14. It's not like he was. I mean, those were trash seasons for him.
So you're talking. It was basically like Utah days, right? That we're talking about.
Yeah, like his first year with Brooklyn.
Yeah, so that's kind of the same sample size you're getting from Lowry, though. Like the years that we're talking that are good from Kyle Lowry are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 from Williams, 10 from Lowry. But let's have like a real honest conversation. Like Robert Horry should be in the Hall of Fame if we're talking rings. Yeah. Big shot, Bob. It's not about like rings are like, to me, the kind of the icing on the cake for you to be a Hall of Famer. It's not a requirement for you to get into the Hall of Fame.
James Jones should too.
Yeah, there you go.
How many rings does he have? LeBron?
I think he went to like 8 straight finals, right?
He could follow LeBron wherever LeBron went.
Yeah, right.
Well, he was a damn good shooter every step along the way.
Dude, he would honestly. You'd forget. He was one of those guys you forget about, and then all of a sudden he'd have a game where he hit like 6 threes on the Bulls, and it's like, where the fuck? It's like Eddie House.
In like 2 minutes. 2 minutes too, he hit him.
Yeah, right.
It's like where were you the other fucking 5 games of the series? It's like Eddie House in that Boston Bulls series didn't do shit for the first 6 games, and then in Game 7 in the Garden, Eddie House is like 7 threes. It's like where the fuck were you? Like James Jones, dude. Like rings, Barkley. Like, does he get knocked for not getting a ring? No. He doesn't get knocked for not getting a ring. Does Karl Malone get knocked for? I mean, no. He went up against the GOAT, and the GOAT beat him. Like a ring should not be.
Everybody went up against the GOAT, and they lost, except for the Magic. When he came back, like 17 games left in the '94-05 season.
Yeah. But
so you shouldn't be penalized. You shouldn't be penalized for Jordan kicking your ass. No. You know what I'm saying? Like he's the best to ever do it. So.
Well, there's a good argument for Lowry, though, because should you get penalized for LeBron James kicking your ass?
Yeah,
okay.
True.
Fair.
That's a good argument.
But Lowry also was pretty shitty when he played. LeBron. I think that's the counter.
Yeah. That is the counter.
Like Barkley was never like Drexler wasn't really bad against Jordan when they matched up 1-on-1. Barkley wasn't bad against Jordan when they matched up 1-on-1. Malone had kind of his struggles, right? I guess you could say. I don't think he was absolutely terrible though.
He wasn't terrible, no. But I mean, he never was like. Gary Payton actually played awesome defense against Jordan in the '96 finals.
So the guys who competed against the best, like that, it's not about you necessarily beating them. It's like how many times there's stories of like I've seen it like video of Kyle Lowry like talking to the rim in practice, like trying to get his game back. There's like video of him after games, like in postseason, of him like shooting to the rim and like talking to the rim. Like he's just in spots. He's a mental midget. Like I don't know what it is. It's just so weird with him to watch him. Sometimes he's this dog, this pit bull who attacks you, and other times it's like what are you doing? I don't understand the variance in your game, and no. So all 3 of us agree no on Lowry, right? On Hall of Fame. That's a hell nah. What are you smoking type segment?
Yeah, sorry, CJ. Sorry, CJ.
All right. So before we wrap this show up, we always ask the guest a final question. Now, I was digging through like your Instagram and like your Twitter. I was trying to find something to a little bit off the wall, but I couldn't find anything. Okay. So I was talking to Tim about a segment yesterday, and you can have a minute to think about this one because I was kind of racking my brain on it. All right.
All right.
If you could take any good player in NBA history, I'm not talking a star, so not like Dame Lillard. I'm talking more in like the Mookie Blaylock or just off the top of my head, like maybe Steve Smith, like good players, current ones like Rudy Gobert, I forget what some of the other ones I was talking about yesterday, but if you could take one good player, current or past NBA guy, and add one elite trait to him to make him a superstar, it could be anything. It could be intelligence. It could be athleticism. It could be shooting. It could be strength. It could be drive. You could pick one trait, like skill, whatever, to add on to a good player in the NBA to make them a superstar. Who would you take and why?
Oh, shoot. All right. That's a good one. That's a really good one. I'm going to take Marcus Smart, and I'm going to say if Marcus Smart have a streaky shooter, but if he was a knockdown lights out shooter, I feel like Marcus Smart would be actually a hell of a basketball player.
Okay. All right. Yeah, he has those moments because in the playoffs he'd have those moments where he'd have like the Marcus Smart game where he just can't miss, and the other 4 or 5 games he can't do shit.
Yeah, he just go unconscious and hit like 6 threes.
Right. Like I'm a big fan of just like Marcus Smart's game. Like he's probably one of my favorite role players in the entire league, just from what he brings from an intensity standpoint and what he's able to do defensively at that position. And he's athletic enough, so I wouldn't do that. But if he could knock down shots consistently, I think you're looking at a pretty good. That's just the first thing that popped in my head. I'm sure there's a better one, but
it's a hard question, man, because I thought about it for like 5 minutes. Like I thought, like if I could give Rudy Gobert a post game or like more polish offensively, if I could give him that, would that vault him to like superstardom? That's one of the guys that I thought of. Or like if I could give Ricky Rubio athleticism, would that turn him into a superstar?
And obviously the easiest one is probably Ben Simmons. Give him a shot, but
yeah. Well, I mean, you got the argument that he's a star too, though. So
yeah, that's the caveat, right? It's like I didn't want to pick somebody like Ben because I think you could already consider him a superstar. It's like those, like if you gave Pat Beverly ball skills and scoring ability, would he become a superstar? Like, or if you made
what about this one? What about this? If you let's just say Jimmer Fredette was
there you go.
What if he was 6'6"?
There you go. If Jimmer Fredette was 6'6", I'll take that one. That's good.
Yeah.
All right.
His shooting ability is unreal.
It's crazy. It's so
what's
crazy.
he averaging in China? What's he average? You know what? Fuck it.
There you go.
Well, what is Jimmer averaging in China? It's not gonna have China stats. Like Basketball Reference only has his NBA. Chinese CBA stats. What do we got here? Jimmer Fredette. Oh, fuck it. I'll share it. His averaging. Hold up. Here we go. He's number 4. He's averaging 36 points a game. 41%
But you know what's even crazier? Pierre Jackson and Joe Young are averaging more than.
God.
Oh, dude, Shabazz Muhammad plays over there. Jared Solinger.
Yeah, these are guys I didn't even realize weren't in the league anymore.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I thought
Sonny Weems, former Bulls great. Sonny Weems. Averaging 23 points a game. Brandon Bass, Shavlik Randolph. Maurice Space plays over there now?
They got some decent players, to be honest.
Yeah, dude.
Luis Scola's over there. Dude, Luis Scola's, how old is Luis? Got to be 40 now. That dude, who Kayvon Looney reminds me a lot of Scola in a sense. Like, that dude has no business being at all an impact player because he moves so damn slow. Tim, you want to wrap?
Yeah, let's wrap it.
All right, cool, man. Troy, thank you for joining us on our 4th episode
guys.
As we kind of get a feel for where this show is going to go. We go off the rails sometimes. We have fun with it. I thought the instant reacts tonight from the NBA Finals we got a lot of, raw emotion and reaction from both Tim and from Troy and from myself. I think that's always good too, and get our thoughts because we really have no idea where things are going. Troy, did you have fun, man?
I had tons of fun. Thanks for having me, guys.
No, we'll have you on again, dude. You're
for sure.
You're smart. It's fun talking ball with you. You got a great personality. You can follow him at just_Troy23 on Twitter. Give him a follow, man. Let's bump his follower up, account up a little bit. You just started tweeting just a little bit ago, right? So you haven't been on for very long.
I just started tweeting about ball not too long ago. I used to just be one of those things where I'd tweet out blurbs or whatever I was thinking about, but now it's kind of my outlet. It's kind of my community. Being in Wisconsin, I don't get many Bulls fans or whatever, so it's a nice way to connect with the community.
Yeah. Oh, you got that. Well, you're more of a Bears fan, right? Because Tim's a Packers fan.
No, I'm a Bears fan right now. We'll see after the draft how things go.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, we appreciate you joining us, and thanks for joining us on the 4th episode of Hardwood Hooligans. We'll catch you all next time.
Thanks, Troy.